What if the crowd you join isn't freeing you, but turning you into a fool? Picture this: a brilliant doctor, renowned for saving lives, suddenly spreads dangerous misinformation during a social media frenzy. A successful entrepreneur, sharp as a tack, joins a riot and shouts slogans he'd never believe. In a quiet room, these aren't idiots. They're intelligent, capable men. Men like you and me, who've fallen into a trap so insidious it's been hidden from us for centuries. This isn't just a quirk of human behavior. It's a science, a forbidden science, that reveals how crowds strip away your reason, your individuality, and your very mind. Let me ask you something. Have you ever felt the pull of a crowd? That rush of energy when everyone around you believes the same thing. Maybe it was a protest, a viral trend online, or even a heated argument at work. You knew something was off, but you went along anyway. Why? Why do smart men act like fools when they join a crowd? The answer lies in a groundbreaking work from 1895. Gustave Le Bon's The Crowd, a study of the popular mind. This isn't just a book, it's a revelation, a scientific expose that rips the veil off how crowds manipulate even the sharpest minds, turning them into puppets of collective madness. Let's set the stage. Imagine a respected professor, a man with a PhD and a shelf full of awards, retweeting a baseless conspiracy theory because it's trending. Or think of a principal lawyer known for his logic, joining a mob that burns down a building. In the name of justice, these aren't isolated incidents. They're symptoms of a deeper truth, one that society doesn't want you to see. Crowds aren't just groups of people. They're psychological machines designed to hijack your brain, erase your critical thinking, and make you a fool for someone else's agenda. And the scariest part, this isn't happening to other people. It's happening to you right now, in ways you might not even notice. In 1951, psychologist Solomon Asch conducted a chilling experiment. He asked volunteers to judge the length of a line, an easy task, but surrounded them with a group, giving obviously wrong answers. Shockingly, 75% of participants went along with the crowd, at least once, even when they knew the truth. These weren't weak-minded people. They were ordinary men just like you, who surrendered their judgment under the weight of collective pressure. This is exactly what Gustave Le Bon uncovered decades earlier. A truth so dangerous it's been buried under layers of societal denial. His work didn't just describe crowds. It exposed how they turn rational men into tools of chaos. Here's what makes this truly terrifying. You don't have to be unintelligent to fall into this trap. Intelligence doesn't protect you. Education doesn't shield you. The crowd's power doesn't care about your degrees or your achievements. It's a force that preys on your deepest instincts, the ones wired into your brain over millions of years of evolution. And today, with social media algorithms and viral outrage, that force is stronger than ever. Every retweet, every trending hashtag is a pull, dragging you into the collective mind, where reason drowns in a sea of emotion. Before we dive deeper, let me ask you again. Have you ever felt that tug? That moment where you went along with the crowd, even when something inside you screamed it was wrong? Hold that thought, because what you're about to hear might be one of the most unsettling scientific insights of the modern era. Gustave Le Bon didn't just study crowds, he dissected them, revealing a truth that explains why societies fall, why good men do foolish things, and why the world is the way it is today. This is the forbidden science of how crowds turn men into fools, and it's a truth you were never meant to hear. So let's pause for a moment. Have you ever followed a crowd's opinion, even when you knew deep down it was wrong? Just to fit in? Maybe it was a heated debate at work, where everyone nodded along to a flawed idea, and you stayed silent. Or perhaps it was online, liking a post you didn't fully believe, because it felt safer to blend in. That tug, that pressure to conform. It's not just a fleeting moment, it's a glimpse into the terrifying power of crowds. a power that can make even the sharpest minds bend. Hold that thought, because the man who uncovered this truth didn't just theorize about it. He lived it, watched it unfold, and dared to expose it. This brings us to Gustave Le Bon, a name you might not know, but one that should be etched in your mind. Born in 1841, Le Bon wasn't some ivory tower philosopher, dreaming up abstract ideas. He was a French scientist, a doctor turned psychologist, who walked the streets of Paris during the aftershocks of the French Revolution. He saw chaos firsthand. Rational men, educated men with families and principles, transformed into puppets in the grip of revolutionary mobs. Picture it, doctors and lawyers. Men who could debate philosophy or solve complex problems, shouting for blood in the streets, swept away by a crowd's fever. Le Bon didn't just observe this madness. He dissected it, like a surgeon cutting through flesh to find the truth. What Laban uncovered was a forbidden truth, one that society doesn't want you to hear. Crowds, he realized, aren't just gatherings of people. They're psychological machines, capable of rewriting your thoughts, erasing your individuality, and turning you into a fool. A fool who serves someone else's agenda. In 1895, he published The Crowd, a study of the popular mind, a book that wasn't just a study, it was a warning. Le Bon saw what happened when ordinary men like you, surrendered their reason to the collective. He watched as the French Revolution turned scholars into rioters, neighbors into executioners, all because they let the crowd think. For them, this wasn't just a historical curiosity. For Le Bon, it was personal. He grew up in a world scarred by revolution, where crowds didn't just overthrow kings, they crushed the very possibility of independent thought. His father was a government official, his family steeped in reason and science. Yet Laban saw how quickly those values crumbled. When men joined the mob, he didn't write from a comfortable armchair. He wrote from the ashes of a society that had lost its mind. And what he discovered wasn't just about 19th century France, it's about you today. In a world where crowds are no longer just in the streets, they're in your phone, your social media feed, your workplace whispering in your ear, urging you to conform. Let's be clear. Le Bon wasn't a dreamer spinning theories for applause. He was a scientist, a man of evidence, who studied human behavior with the precision of a chemist. Mixing compounds, his work laid the foundation for modern social psychology, influencing thinkers who came after him. He didn't just guess at how crowds work. He proved it with observations so sharp they cut through the lies society tells itself. And here's the kicker. His insights are more relevant now than ever. In an age of viral hashtags, cancel culture, and algorithm-driven outrage, Le Bon's forbidden science is the key to understanding why you might be losing your mind. Losing it to the crowd without even realizing it. So, as we dive deeper, keep that question in your mind. When have you felt the crowd's pull? That moment when you silenced your own reason to go along. Because what Le Bon uncovered isn't just a theory, it's a map to reclaiming your mind. A guide to breaking free from the collective madness that's all around us. This is the science they don't want you to know, and it's time to face it head on. Now let's dive into the heart of Gustave Le Bon's forbidden science in 1895. He published The Crowd, a study of the popular mind. A book that didn't just describe crowds, it exposed their power to destroy reason. Le Bon argued that crowds create a collective mind, a psychological force so overwhelming, it erases your individuality, your logic, your very self. In his words, in a crowd, every sentiment is contagious, and the individual sacrifices his reason to the collective. Think about that. You, a man of intelligence, of principles, can vanish into a mob chanting slogans. Not because you believe them, but because the crowd's energy consumes you. This isn't just a theory, it's a diagnosis of why smart men become fools. Le Bon broke it down to 3 chilling mechanisms. First, contagion. Emotions in a crowd spread like a virus, infecting everyone, making you feel what the mob feels. Anger, fear. Euphoria, whether it makes sense or not. Second, suggestion leaders. Whether politicians or influencers, plant ideas in the crowd's mind, and you absorb them without question. Like a puppet on strings. Third, anonymity. In a crowd, you lose accountability. Hidden in the mass, you act in ways you'd never dare alone, shouting, rioting, even destroying, all because the crowd shields you. Picture yourself in a protest, swept up in the chants, your doubts drowned out by the roar. That's not freedom, that's the crowd turning you into its fool. But here's the darkest truth. Crowds don't just happen, they're weaponized. Politicians stir mobs to silence your doubts, making you a fool for their agenda. Media outlets amplify outrage to keep you hooked, clicking and conforming. Think of the last time you saw a viral hashtag, ignite a firestorm online. Thousands of people, doctors, teachers, men like you piling on without checking the facts. All because the crowd's momentum was too strong to resist. Le Bon saw this in the French Revolution, where scholars and workers alike became tools of chaos, serving the powerful who pulled the strings. Today, it's not just guillotines. It's algorithms, news cycles, and social media mobs, all designed to keep you in line. This isn't about random chaos. It's about control. The powerful governments, corporations, influencers know that a crowd is a perfect tool. To maintain their grip, they don't need to censor you. When they can drown you in the collective mind, where reason dies and folly reigns. Le Bon's genius wasn't just seeing this. It was proving it with a scientist's precision, long before psychology had a name for it. His work revealed a truth so dangerous, it's been buried under layers of distraction. Crowds don't just make you foolish. They make you a servant to someone else's power. So as we go deeper, ask yourself, when have you felt that pull? That moment when the crowd's voice became your own. Because Le Bon's theory isn't just about mobs in the streets. It's about the invisible crowds in your life. Your workplace, your social media feed. Your world stealing your mind one chant at a time. This is the science they don't want you to know, and it's time to see it for what it is. So why do crowds have this power over you? Why do intelligent men who can solve problems, build businesses, lead families, turn into fools the moment they join the mob? Let's break it down. In 1951, psychologist Solomon Asch ran a simple experiment. He asked people to judge the length of a line, an easy task, but surrounded them with a group giving wrong answers. The result: 75% conformed to the crowd's error at least once. Even when they saw the truth, even when you know better, the crowd's pressure makes you doubt yourself. It's not weakness, it's wiring, a psychological trap built into your brain. But it's not just psychology. Society sets the stage. Economic pressures, mounting debt, unstable jobs, endless hustle push you to seek safety in the crowd. Add to that a culture that punishes standing out. Question the mob, and you're labeled a traitor, an outcast, a troublemaker. So you join the crowd's outrage. Not because you believe it, but because questioning it feels like betrayal. Think about it. When was the last time you stayed silent in a meeting, even though you knew the group was wrong? That's not just peer pressure. It's a system designed to make you surrender. Your reason now. Fast forward to today. Social media takes this to a whole new level. Algorithms don't just amplify crowds. They engineer them. Echo chambers feed you posts that fuel your emotions, not your logic. Viral trends, cancel culture, fake news. They're all crowd psychology on steroids. A 2018 MIT study found false information spread 6 times faster than truth online. Why? Because crowds crave emotional highs. Anger, fear, righteous fury, not complex realities. You see it every day. A hashtag explodes. A mob forms and suddenly, intelligent people are sharing lies. Without a second thought, that's not an accident. It's a machine built to profit from your folly. History shows us this isn't new. Take the tulip mania of 1637 in Holland. Respectable merchants, bankers, and scholars, men of reason and wealth, went mad, spending fortunes on single tulip bulbs. Driven by a frenzied crowd chasing profit, prices soared to absurd heights only to crash, leaving lives ruined. Or consider the South Sea bubble of 1720 in England, when educated investors, including scientists like Isaac Newton, poured their savings into a doomed stock scheme, swept up by the crowd's greed and hype. These weren't fools. They were intelligent men just like you, who let the crowd's fever drown their reason. Le Bon saw this pattern in the French Revolution, and it's alive today in every viral outrage. Every mob that demands you pick a side. Here's the brutal truth: the system, media, tech giants, politicians profits from your surrender. They don't need to control your thoughts directly. They just need to keep you swept up in the crowd, too distracted to think for yourself. Every click, every share, every moment you go along fuels their power. Le Bon Science isn't just a warning. It's an X-ray exposing the machinery that turns rational men into fools. So ask yourself, when did you last feel that pull, that urge to join the mob? Because the crowd isn't just out there. It's in your pocket, your screen, your life waiting to claim your mind. You've seen the trap crowd stealing your mind, turning you into a fool for someone else's agenda. But here's the good news: you don't have to stay trapped. Gustave Le Bon didn't just expose the science of crowds. He showed us a way out, the key: self-awareness and intellectual courage to break free. You must recognize your own value, your unique mind, and refuse to dissolve into the mob's collective madness. Start by asking yourself this simple question: am I thinking for myself, or is the crowd thinking for me? That question, that pause, is your first step toward freedom. Let's get practical. You can start today, right now, with actions so simple they're almost revolutionary. First, carve out 30 minutes each week to read something that challenges your beliefs. A blog, an article, a perspective you'd normally scroll past. Break out of the echo chambers that keep you chained to the crowd's voice. Second, before you hit share on that viral post, stop for 60 seconds, check the source. Is it true, or is it just the crowd's latest fever? Third, embrace the power of saying, I don't know. Admitting uncertainty isn't weakness. It's a bold act of defiance against the mob's demand for blind certainty. These aren't just habits, they're weapons, tools to reclaim your mind from the collective. But this isn't just about you. The crowd's power thrives because the system fuels it. Tech giants, media outlets, politicians, all profiting from your conformity. They design algorithms to trap you in outrage loops, to keep you clicking, sharing, and chanting their script. So demand change, push for education that teaches crowd psychology in schools, so the next generation knows how to think, not just follow. Call for transparency in social media algorithms. Let's expose the code that manipulates your emotions. These aren't pipe dreams. There are steps to dismantle the machinery that turns rational men into fools. A machinery that thrives on your silence. You're not just another face in the crowd. You're a man with a mind, a voice, a purpose, and the system hates that. They want you docile, swept up in the mob, too distracted to question their power. But you can choose differently. Le Bon Science isn't just a warning. It's a battle cry every time you pause to think. Every time you reject the crowd's roar, you're reclaiming your intellectual freedom. That's not easy. It takes courage. The kind of courage that sets you apart from the mob. You're not here to blend in. You're here to stand out, to be the man who dares to think for himself. So here's your challenge this week. Try one of those steps: read an opposing view. Check a source or admit you don't know. Feel the weight of the crowd lift just a little. You're not alone in this, there are others out there. Men like you waking up, refusing to be fools. Le Bon saw the truth over a century ago, and now it's in your hands. The system wants you to stay asleep, lost in the mob's noise, but you can wake up. You can choose reason over madness, courage over conformity. The question is, will you? You've got the tools now? The weapons to break free from the crowd's grip. But let's face the stakes, because this fight is more urgent than ever. Modern neuroscience confirms what Le Bon saw. A century ago, your brain is wired to follow the crowd, prioritizing speed over accuracy, emotion over reason, and today, AI and algorithms exploit this flaw with terrifying precision. Your brain is built to react, to conform, to belong, and AI knows exactly how to pull those strings. Every trending hashtag, every viral video is a calculated trap, designed to make you a fool for someone else's cause. This isn't just theory, it's reality. Today's mobs aren't just on the streets. They're in your phone, shaping your thoughts with every scroll. Deep fakes twist truth into lies, so convincing you question your own eyes. Social media echo chambers amplify outrage, drowning your reason in a flood of likes and retweets. A 2018 study from MIT proved false stories spread 6 times faster than truth. Not because they're better, but because they feed the crowd's hunger for emotion. Cancel culture, online pylons, viral conspiracies. They're all proof that Le Bon's warning is more relevant now than ever. Waking up isn't just an option, it's survival. Let's go back to Gustave Le Bon, standing in the chaos of post-revolutionary France. He saw crowds turn scholars into rioters, neighbors into executioners, all because they surrendered their minds. The crowd is a beast that devours reason. He wrote, and he saw it with his own eyes. Men of intellect, men of principle reduced to puppets in the mob's frenzy. Le Bon didn't just study this madness. He lived it, and his work became a beacon for those brave enough to seek intellectual independence. That's the legacy he left you, a map to stand alone, to think for yourself, to refuse the crowd's chains. So here's your challenge, and it's not a small one. This week, find one moment when you followed a crowd's opinion, a post you shared, a slogan you echoed, a belief you didn't question. Stop, dig deeper. Ask yourself, was that me thinking or the crowd thinking for me? Share your story in the comments below, not just for you, but to inspire others to break free. Because the man who stands alone, the man who dares to question, is the one who truly thinks. You're not just fighting for your mind, you're lighting a spark for others, a rebellion against the collective madness. This is bigger than you, the system. Tech giants, media, power-hungry leaders wants you lost in the crowd, too distracted to see the truth. But Le Bon science gives you the power to resist, to reclaim your reason, to redefine who you are. You're not a fool. You're a man with a mind that can cut through the noise. The question isn't whether you can break free. It's whether you will so take that first step. Question the crowd, share this video. Wake up the men around you, because in a world ruled by mobs, the man who thinks for himself isn't just free. He's unstoppable.